Back in studio, Joe Musso alongside the two-time Bryant McFadden. Mac, time for winners and losers.
Yes,
when
sir.
you get to this point in the year, you can't be on that loser side too many times and expect to be where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Your biggest winner out of Week 13 Sunday.
My biggest winner for Week 13 is one of the best teams in what we've seen in the last few weeks. And this is a team that is clearly thriving. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. And the reason why they're my biggest winner for Week 13, they played against the Baltimore Ravens, one of the more talented teams in the National Football League, on the road. The Baltimore Ravens, an offense that has a superhero at the quarterback position and a transformer at the running back position. And guess what? Neither guy had an opportunity to show their ability. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing outstanding football in the midst of an 8-game winning streak. When you look at their mentality of the offensive side, it starts and it stops with that guy, Saquon Barkley. Once again, a prolific-like day when he was going against Derrick Henry. Granted, not playing against each other, but on the football field, he got an opportunity to outshine Derrick Henry. He put the offense on his back. Jalen Hurts made the timely plays when given the opportunity to do so, and their defense came through in the clutch. This is a team that is playing some of their best football from what I've seen the entire season. They're getting healthy. Even though they did not have Devontae Smith, they didn't miss a beat. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and like I said, this was a statement game based on the team they were playing against and playing on the road, and they took care of their business from start to finish against the Baltimore Ravens.
This was a Saquon Barkley effort a week ago, that record-setting one that put him in front of Derrick Henry from a yardage perspective, and doing it in one fewer game. He gets the measure back-to-back on the same field in this one. Not pertinent to our conversation right now, but more complete as currently constructed. The Eagles or the Lions?
Wow. It depends on the day of the week.
I'm just thinking about some of the defensive attrition issues they have in Detroit right now and when that's going to come back to bite them, especially at the second level.
And see, that's the thing. It's like Detroit, they're dealing with so many injuries, and it might not really show up in the regular season, but these injuries could surface in postseason play when you're playing against good on good.
So fair to say edge to the offense in Detroit, edge to the defense in Philadelphia.
Facts. But if I had to give my pick in terms of the team I think would win if Detroit were to play Philadelphia, regardless of where the game is being played, I think I side with Philadelphia.
Okay. It's easy to say regardless of where the game's being played, but that's what we're going to sort from here to the finish line. That's going to be very important if those two do meet on the same football field.
I can change my mind tomorrow, but today.
Not being held to it.
Yeah.
Just wanted to take a little pulse there. Feeling like the Eagles might have an upper hand in some ways over the Lions. Sorry, Lions fans. Historic season on both accounts. How about your biggest loser?
Let's go down to the dirty South, Atlanta. Once again, they found a way to lose. Get this, you had extra days to prepare for the Chargers because you were coming off your bye week at home. When you look at what was at stake, of course, the Chargers trying to get back into the winning column, and the same could be said for the Atlanta Falcons. But you lost. You lost the game today, 17-13, a game in which your defense, they created 5 sacks. They only allowed 10 points.
Showed up.
10 points. That's winning football.
There's 7 of them.
From a unit that has struggled in sacking opposing quarterbacks. Yeah. But your quarterback, unfortunately, there you see the highlights. Kirk Cousins had the worst game of the season. 4 picks, 1 was returned for a touchdown. In the critical moments of their schedule right now, you cannot afford to have these mishaps, because if you look at the Atlanta Falcons, there you have it. The first 9 games, you were 6-3. The last 3, you're 0-3. You have allowed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to creep back up in this division conversation. Both teams are currently tied with the same record. Yes, you own the tiebreaker over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but you have no room for error. And guess what? They play the Minnesota Vikings next week, the Atlanta Falcons. You travel to Skull Nation. Guess who Tampa Bay has? The Las Vegas Raiders. If you're Tampa, you much would rather play the Raiders than the Vikings, because clearly the Vikings are playing more inspired football right now. So for Atlanta, you're in the midst of a drought. And this is the wrong time to have these type of slip-ups, because there's no room for error in terms of trying to win your division, because I can tell you this much. The NFC South will only get 1 team into the playoffs.
Certainly.
And that's the team that wins the division. And for Atlanta to have a hold on that division for the majority of the season and to allow it to squander away in the latter moments is disappointing football.
and you're going to have a very fortunate 5 seed if it is Atlanta. Tampa Bay perhaps a more complete team if they do end up winning that division, but you're going to have someone licking their chops coming out of that wild card to get whoever is coming out of the South. Winners and losers with Bryant McFadden as we take a look now at Kirk Cousins. No touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. The first time he's done that in his career. As for Falcons history, it's been done before, not in quite some time, and it comes at an awful time. Week 13 for Kirk O'Chains. Got to get to a game ball time now for That's My Guy. Bryant McFadden, my guy, here to offer up your player of the week, your game ball, your guy per se, Mac. Who is it?
My player is your player of the week as well. Russell Wilson.
Okay. Dangerous.
He was dangerous today.
Took you 13 weeks to pick your quarterback.
Listen, I had to wait for the perfect time to do so. Russell Wilson, 29 of 38, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged over 10 yards per throw. That's explosive football in a game in which his offense needed to score points. This is something we've had our questions about with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can they go blow for blow against a high-power-like offense? Well, guess what? They answered all of those questions, all of those concerns today. Russell put forth his best performance in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. And the most important thing about this situation for me with Russell being my guy for Week 13, they won the ball game. Kudos to Russell Wilson because he's playing with a lot of confidence. He believes in his pass catchers. They're doing a great job in creating separation. And most importantly, they've been overly efficient today. So when I look at what Russell Wilson is doing, if he can continue to give us a spurt or a flash of this type of performance, look out. This offense could be very, very scary.
I love what I saw in between snaps as well from Russell Wilson in this game. You know, we watch these games, we call them truck feed, to borrow from Hakeem Dermish, TV jargon. We don't watch the commercials. We get certain shots when you're not seeing nothing. I saw Russell Wilson talking to his guys, and his guys giving it back to him.
No question.
I see communication, something we did not see in years past with Russell Wilson. Looked like a perfect performance from him in this instance. My guy, Mac?
Yeah.
I always love it when you go offense and I go defense.
Who did you go defense?
Switch seats. Leonard Williams. Give me the big fella.
Ooh.
In a big spot.
He rumbled home.
In a game that was decided by less than a single possession, excuse me. 99. The longest interception return for a touchdown by a player 300 pounds or heavier in the history of this sport. 92 yards to the house for 99. And get this, it's a man who knows the playing surface. For as much scrutiny as it's come under there at MetLife, if there is a locker room, he knows it. This time as a visitor, as a Giant, as a Jet, the man's seen the place. And yes, this was billed as the Geno Smith revenge game. And yes, it was that. But how about some revenge here for Leonard Williams in that building as well? 92 yards. Anytime we can get a big man touchdown.
Big Dan Wilkinson was 320 and rumble for 88 yards.
I remember Ted Washington. You remember Ted? He didn't take it to the house. He got hawked.
No question.
He was looking to pitch that thing off, and they were pushing him down the field.
Pitch.
Leonard took it to paint for this one. He's my guy this week. And don't forget, you're in the right place for all your NFL needs. News, highlights, scores, and more. 24/7, 365. CBS Sports HQ. The moment it breaks, we cover it. Join us every day on CBS Sports HQ.